Welcome back to the Black Ice. Now, I appreciate you being here. I'm going to do a video I should have done a long time ago. That's camera angle. What camera angle works best and goalie? The answer is, I do not know. But what I do in these videos is I give you options and explanations of things that people usually don't in these videos, because it's easy for people to do these terrible videos and just generalize, okay, you should use this because you get to see this. That's not how this game works. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to tell you which is the best. There is no best. You'll look at me streaming some games and you'll see me use one camera angle. Then you'll see me use another camera angle. It's all like dependent on the person, but I'm going to help you find yours, your best way. It's not going to be one. So camera angle is a little tricky. Camera angle I've used exclusively. I've tried a lot of things, many different, but I've settled on understanding that it wasn't so much the camera angle, it was more me and the team that I'm playing with. So my belief is camera angles, before I continue to tell you these, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Otherwise, you're not even knowing when these videos are coming out. So camera angles are personal preference, but not real. I think you use the camera angle to teach yourself how to play. I personally think the game is meant to be played on the lower camera angle. Whether it be skater or goalie, it's meant to be played on the lower camera angles because you get more from it. You learn the game better, you see the game better. But the camera angles are so locked in and tight, you can't really see. The game plays better. To see the game, you gotta use higher camera angles. Now, I'm gonna go in here and I'm doing the one-on-one because it's hard to show camera angles, hard to show certain things about goalie because they don't have like a practice arena where it's just you and you can whatever. So go in here. The first camera angle is a low camera angle. This is my favorite camera angle. Why? Because you get to see the movements. You get to judge the shot. You get to not overreact and realize that you are in place. You can save it. Whereas the higher camera angles, you overreact to certain things. You don't see how much of the post you're covering, how far you're angled, whether the person's going to shoot. Like this camera angle, I can tell you right now he's shooting. Whereas the other camera angles, I might think it's a pass. I might think it's on one-on-one, so obviously it's not a pass. But you can see things better. Like him wrapping there, I know he's not going to shoot there, but I know I have the backhand covered and I don't have to overreact. I can wait for his forehand in case he turned around the other side. That's why I love the low camera angle. So I use the low camera angles to practice my setups, to practice my movement, and get it locked in my head. That way, when I'm playing on higher camera angles, I could close my eyes and tell you where I am. Each time, my eyes are closed and I could tell you where I am. That's why you use low camera angles. Low camera angles, you see things better, you react to it better, you set yourself up better, you don't overreact to certain areas on the ice, you can let your guys sit more, you're not as fidgety. That's what low camera angles. So I use the lower camera angle whenever I'm playing with a team that I know one of the defensemen gets beat or likes to pinch and he allows the guys behind him. That way on the low camera angle, I know I can set up quickly and anticipate the shot, the closeness, any bounce, go down and butterfly quicker. So I'll use it if my defenseman allows guys behind them or if they allow breakaways. Breakaways are easier to save in the lower camera angles. So I will always, depending on my defense, if I know the team, I will always use the lower camera angles because I see things quicker. It's more one-on-one. It's more individual. Whereas if it's a team that allows more high cross-crease shots, point shots, I'll use, we go into the different camera angle here. I'll use fixed. And you use fixed because you get to see the middle passes. You get to see the high slot shots. The high slot shots are what goes in the most in this game. so you get to see it. Now, you see he just took that shot right there? And in my head, even though I know how positioned I am, where I am, in my head, I'm like, should I go over more? Do I need to go over more to save it? Because that's what the higher camera angles do. They give you a better perspective of where passes are going to be, where other teammates are going to set up, but you're not sure if you're in position for a shot. You're not sure if you're in position for a tip. You're not sure if you're in position. That's what the high camera angles do. But because you will be using, it's on the recommendation I'm giving you right now, you'll be using the lower camera angles. See, on the low camera angle, even though I'm talking, on a low camera angle, that shot never goes in because I know my angles. I'm not moving right now, but you'll see. I'm trying to get to a point. But because you'll be moving and using the lower ones to dictate your movement. Like right now, I know exactly where I am. I know my legs right over the post. If he comes to the front, I got to move over. And I'm doing all of that just looking. I don't. All right, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm up down there. And I know I'm in the left side of the crease right now. I'm going to go back to the middle. It's just, because you use the lower camera angles in order to dictate your movement so you're not moving crazy. You're not worried about whether your angles are covered and you get to see the passes. So I'll use this if most of my team doesn't allow people behind them, but they allow teams to set up and go to the point, and they allow teams to go to high slot shots. I'll use that. Now, a camera angle that I've been getting used to and really liking is the dynamics. The dynamic high I've been getting used to. I've been using more. I'm starting to like it, but I'm not there with it yet. Now, the problem is, though, in all of your practice and all of your offline mode stuff, dynamic doesn't look much different than low. The dynamic camera right now does not look much different than low, even though I switched it. And most people think dynamic, it's on dynamic, but you can see it's not much different than, and you're like, well, I switched to zone. You'll see a huge difference when you go to the zone camera, right? But at the dynamic, it's like, you think it's like using low. Which is not the case. This is not the dynamic camera. This camera is not what you get when you're playing online. This is not your online camera for dynamic. I'm going to show you the dynamic camera right now. And I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to pull it up because I had to record it while playing, because the dynamic camera is more of a back camera where you get closer in zone camera. But on face-off, it gives you that angular look. So that face-off play that people run all the time, you can get to see the defenseman when he comes down, picks up the puck, and he passes it. You see it so clearly because the camera is angled just like it is for a skater, and then it moves quickly to the other side, so you're following the play better. There are people that use like zone and overhead. I wouldn't recommend zone and overhead unless you are so precise in your movement, unless you have a really good team in front of you, because judging the angles, judging the push, judging the lag, judging where your guy sets up is very difficult to do. So that's always my recommendation. Use low camera and fixed. Those two will get you ready and get you moving and get you just set in most of your plays. I would rather use the low cameras for goalie, but you can't always, because your team doesn't always work that way. And you get the puck gets lost behind people lower camera on one-timers and high slot shots, so you got to depend on your team for that. I would rather use it, but fixed is the one that I use when I know team gives up more slots than one-on-one. I appreciate you guys joining me. Make sure you join for the next episode. I think the next one I'm going to do is probably going to be controller, an elite controller for playing NHL. Not so much goalie, but for every position, really. Elite controllers are where it's at. If you want to be cheesy and good in NHL, because you can map everything. So, see you guys next time.